on, baby.
Fucking Bill. Ray has boobs. Look at the chair he's sitting in. He's sitting like an old 1984 Elks chair.
Yep.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it is.
You got it from being president back in 1984.
I think they call it exalted leader.
Oh yeah, he had the hat, the no ma'am hat that Married with Children had.
Yeah.
Look how stupid he is.
Looks like an asshole.
Good, fucked up.
He definitely had Janko jeans.
Oh yeah.
Dude, these things are all fucked up.
Simple minds, simple minds.
Got all twisted. Leave me alone.
Bill, is that an Elks chair you're sitting in?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, these things are the best.
I knew it. Ray has boobs.
Dude, I fucking died. I couldn't fucking stop laughing when you said that. I don't think she knew what to say either.
I have no idea.
Useless has boobs on a boy. Ray has boobs. Check out our interview with Marina on Thursday. Excellent interview. A lot of fun. Bill brought a fucking shit ton of insight. I like Marina a lot. She had some gumption. She had some fight in her. Good language. And yeah, that line, that was a one-timer for sure. I love it.
What part she was saying something to? I just looked up Bill and he's going. I forgot what she was talking
politics. We don't want to talk politics.
Politics.
She goes, well, if you want to get deep into politics, Bill just starts shaking his head rapidly. No, she went deep into politics.
Deep dive.
Yep.
Know your audience.
Okay. Well,
here we are.
We generally smash our heads against the wall verbally, so sure, we can talk about the global politics of the world. No, I actually liked her. I liked her a lot. This is the Wednesday show. This is the second day in a row, or second recording in a row that we have done. We've time traveled. Yeah. The first recording we did. Welcome to the Simple Mind Sports Show, Wednesday edition, May 12th. What I'd like to get into is a giant vat of White Birch Brewing. You know that I love the White Birch Brewing. Some of the best beer in New Hampshire, out of Nashua, New Hampshire. Ray, address, please.
460 Amherst Street.
He's got a little triple happening. Whenever we do interviews,
I finished this. It's not good.
Ray generally gets a little bit nervous, so he likes to put some liquid courage down. And instead
when the pressure, I texted you, when the pressure gets going, he crumbles under pressure.
I didn't crumble.
I saw this.
Yeah, you're mumbling.
Made me laugh.
You're Oh, yeah, I was about to lose it.
Dude, I saw you smile, and I'm like,
what did I do?
Full tilt tell. When I start itching my nose and my mustache, I'm laughing. You just stumbled and mumbled over some dumb question you're asking.
You look nervous.
You didn't. What the problem was, you didn't have enough of that White Birch Triple IPA. Something I can't read it. Something
a lot more interesting.
A lot more interesting is the Triple IPA. What's the ABV in that sucker?
11.
Mamma mia.
It's good too.
Okay, you're gonna want to get that one to go, or have a designated driver to get your ass home.
Call Uber Ray.
Call Uber, official Uber driver of the Simple Mind Sports Show, Uber Ray. White Birch Brewing out of Nashua, New Hampshire. If you see it in the store, tell them the Simple Mind Boys sent you. If you head down to the brewery, get a flight, get a pint, tell them the Simple Minds Boys sent you. Get a hat. They have these kind of hats that Bill's wearing, even though he said that they didn't.
It's only winter.
They only had winter. No, I'm not.
They have them there. They're in stock. Go check them out. White Birch Brewing. Boys, Bruins clinched third place. The exact thing I did not want to happen happened, but I will say I'm okay with it. Here's why. Watching the game, the Islanders were going for third place. Clearly, the Bruins were too. They both came into that game looking to win, and the Islanders had their moments, but I got to say, the Bruins fucking dominated that game.
Dude, they pulled their goalie just hoping the Bruins would score.
No, I think they pulled their goalie trying to win. It was a tie game. If they went to overtime, they're fourth place. They knew the stakes. They pulled the goalie with 2 minutes left of the tie game because they needed to win. A tie there doesn't help them. So I think the Islanders were looking to win that game until they got to overtime, and then they probably let the Jets off a little bit.
I don't know. Let's not discredit the nasty goal Taylor Hall scored.
No, I'm not trying.
Disgusting.
I'm not discrediting that goal. That goal in particular was filthy. Full speed, putting on the brakes.
Between the legs, backhanded.
Nutmeg to whoever was on defense there.
Makes me rock hard just thinking about
side.
it.
He has looked excellent. I'm just saying, I thought that both teams went in there with a playoff mentality, and the Bruins, in my opinion, kind of dominated. The shots on goal will tell you they dominated. Couple things out of this that stuck out to me. The number one was Taylor Hall. In 16 games with the Bruins, he has 8 goals, 6 assists, 14 points. That's after 30-something games with the Sabres and 2 goals. Clearly, this guy is ready to play, Ray. His comments after the game, this is some of the most I'm sorry, I didn't pull it. This is some of the most exciting hockey he's played in his career.
Yeah.
He's engaged. He's ready to go. He should be a difference maker in the Bruins making a run. Hockey guy Ray, your thoughts on Taylor Hall as we head into the playoffs here?
No, best trade piece we got out of the I think in the NHL. I think that was the best trade any team has pulled out. I mean, Taylor Hall is looking like his old self. He's rejuvenated his career. I mean, New Jersey, Buffalo, Arizona, bad stops for him in his career. Now he's looking like a true number one. He should be on number one line, but he's playing on the number 2 line for us. But he's looking like his old self, like a MVP caliber type player.
Yeah, I think he's still got. Absolutely, I agree with all of that. He's certainly motivated. 16 games is a pretty small sample size compared to 10 years of what is widely considered a vastly underachieving career. So he's got a lot to prove. He can disprove a lot of things in this playoffs. If you want to look ahead, the Bruins may have scored one of the best deals in recent history in the NHL. To your point, Ray, if Taylor Hall signs for a team-friendly deal because he loves it here so much and thinks he can get the best out of himself as he moves into, the back end of his prime, if that's what you want to call it, that's the upside. But he's got to prove it in the playoffs against the best competition. That's really where he's going to set himself apart in terms of rejuvenating his career.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think a 16-game sample is rejuvenating your career. I mean, you think about it, he was a Hart Trophy winner, MVP in New Jersey. I mean, he's had a little bit of success. I think he's motivated. I think the one thing you didn't mention, he's a plus 15 on this team right now in the 16 games. He was minus 21 in 39 games with Buffalo. Whoa. I think that is huge. And the impact that he brings to the table. Krejci's plus 21, 6 goals. I think he's got 15 assists right now in the 16 games since Hall's been there. You've seen what Craig Smith has done. I think that's the impact you're getting. Even if he wasn't scoring a lot of goals, like just the plus minus on that second line is huge. I'm not ready to say he's rejuvenated his career. Yeah, he'll define team-friendly deal. You think you want to sign him in the offseason. I'm not there yet, but I'm close. 6 million, 7 million, anything over that.
If you give him Krejci's money.
Yeah, 6.
If you give him Krejci's deal,
right in there.
I think it's going to be hard for the Bruins not to do that if he plays out and he plays well in the offseason. We can talk about the offseason when we get there.
Yeah, but I do got one more point. We need to stop crediting Sweeney so much for making this move. Taylor Hall played his hand. He had a no trade movement. He said, "I'm going to the Bruins."
Didn't they have him going somewhere else?
Doesn't matter.
No, didn't Buffalo have agreed? And he said, "No, the only place I want to go to is Boston."
He forced his way to Boston. He's wanted to be on Boston. Basically, he wanted to be drafted by Boston instead of Edmonton in 2011. So, I mean, he's wanted to be here forever. Again, the money didn't work out in the offseason. But, yeah, he forced his hand. We need to stop crediting Sweeney for making this great deadline deal. He forced his hand to the Bruins. There's a reason he came for a second-round pick in Anders Bork. Like that, and you got Lazar the deal. He forced his hand there. I get it. You had to take something. The Bruins probably could have got him for a 3rd-round pick. Truthfully, I mean, they weren't going to pay a premium.
I agree with you that there may be a little bit too much credit for Sweeney, but that's the job. Like when it works, you get credit. When it doesn't work, you get slammed. And if you want to look at it from the other side, the Bruins had needed help before the deadline for a while. They were not trading.
They were a middling team. I mean,
they were drowning at that point. Yeah. And Palmieri, the Devils was rumored to him. They were rumored in a lot of guys. And I don't think Sweeney knew he had that in his back pocket the whole time. So it took a little bit of guts not to swing for some of these other guys and wait. And Hope that Taylor Hall forces his way to Boston. So, however you want to slice that, I think your overall point is probably closer to the bone, Bill, that he's getting a little bit too much credit, but he certainly gets fucking crushed for a lot of the other shit that has happened. So I'm okay giving him the nod on this one. And he got Curtis Lazar to the deal, who's been a difference maker in a lot of ways. To the same point, you're able to bump Corrali up, move Coyle. You've given yourself a lot of flexibility with that deal. It wasn't just Taylor Hall. The Lazar thing, I think, has made a difference too on the back end. And the Mike Riley deal might have been this. If you discount Taylor Hall completely, Mike Riley might have been up there in the best moves at the deadline as well. Underrated just for a third round pick for that guy is going to line up in your second pairing on D.
For sure. And I'm not trying to discredit Sweeney much. Like, it was a great move. Again, if you Riley too, but again, Taylor Hall forced his hand. I mean, that's the big thing. But if he turtles in the playoffs, this 16 game stretch means jack shit. True. It just helped you get there. If you turtle against the Capitals, which you should beat, you're a better team on paper. You have more talent. You should beat this team. But if he turtles and does nothing in these 14 games of playoff experience, don't forget that. He's had more games with the Bruins than he has in playoff experience up until this point, right? So,
yeah,
expectations are high because of what you just saw in 16 games. But for me, I'm a little low. Like, you got to temper that expectations. Because
all right, well, let's get into that, because speaking of pooping their pants in the playoffs, I don't think Tuukka's looked great. He hasn't looked bad. That Islanders game, he got beat over the shoulder, blocker side. I get that that's not the easiest save, but I think the way Swayman's playing right now, he saves that. I think Tuukka's anticipation is a half second slow. It just seems like he's not locked in to the level of Swayman. That doesn't change my opinion that they should start Tuukka. We've gone over this ad nauseum. He's your guy. He's the best goaltender the franchise has ever had. Yada yada yada. His record, yes, you should start him, but I don't think he's locked in. And if he has a shit game, probably 2 shit games,
see ya.
You have to have a short leash on him. We know the kind of player he is and the kind of mentality that he can get into. And I don't think that he's in that Tuukka zone that we saw him in. Call it the 2019 playoffs. That's for sure.
So he's only played 24 games. He has 15 wins. So his goals against average is 2.44 right now. The team's rallying around him. So it's not like that's one of those bad things where, the team's given up on him, like how he's given up in 2019, 2020, the bubble, going off for family reasons. But yeah, the team's rallying around him. So he's still getting the wins. He's only lost 5 games and then 2 overtime losses. So the team is putting the puck in the net.
7 games.
So yeah, the team's not giving up on him. So that's the big thing too.
No, I agree. I don't think the team has ever given up on Tuukka Rask. I think that they like Tuukka Rask. I think the organization likes Tuukka Rask. What's not to like? He's the best goaltender in Bruins history. He's got some of the best numbers in the NHL in 10 years. All of that's true. Everyone's just waiting for the bottom to fall out at the biggest moment because that's what his pedigree has shown us. And this year, to your point, Ray, he hasn't played a lot. He's got limited experience this season. He's got a lingering quote unquote back injury, which in any sport at any point in time ever is just a recipe for disaster to flare up at any point in time. And with a guy as mercurial, is that the word? I know I've used that twice.
Meticulous.
Don't fucking
the Kyrie mercurial.
Meticulous.
No, it's not meticulous. Prick. Mercurial. No, that's not right. But either way, weird and not really, competitive. Just
why could you say weird?
I don't know.
Why could you just say that?
Shut up, Ray. I'm worried about Tuukka Rask being a problem in the playoffs. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, you got to have a short leash, and they were talking about it on the radio today. You hope it's not when they're down 3-0 or down 3-1.
Can't be.
You can't. Like, if he flunders,
it looks bad in one game, you just pull him.
No. Give him. You can't pull him after one game.
7-1 loss. If you lose game 2, 7-1, you can keep him in there.
Yeah, if it's 2-0, no, I'm taking him out. But I'm just saying you can't give him one bad loss and pull him. I mean, he's the most experienced. He's the best goalie in team history. I mean, I don't think Swayman. Like, I'm happy with Swayman as a backup. Like, I feel comfortable if you went for him full time. But at the same time, it's like he might not be locked in, but again, he's won 15 wins. And the way that the offense is playing right now, you're number 1 in the NHL and 5-on-5 scoring since the trade deadline. And Krejci, they're 42-3-5 when he scored a point in the last 50 regular season games. So you might not need to rely so much on Tuukka when your offense right now is playing so good. So if you're at 2.24 goals against average, I mean, yeah, you can win games 4-3, 5-4. I'm happy with
You
that.
can
as long
at this
as you're
point.
winning.
Yeah,
you're going in. I mean, if it's going to be a problem later in the playoffs, then yeah, maybe. But I mean, I think with the Capitals, I think he's not going to get blown up. I think the way, especially with the way the defense is healthy now, and you have options to pair. They just benched everybody today. They have 15 guys on your starting lineup that are benched.
And I think they're winning 1-0. So
it's nothing.
What?
It's nothing.
You think Bill's not paying attention to the game tonight?
I thought I was just. Anyway, moving ahead, we got the Capitals 7:30 Saturday night, the first playoff action we have seen since the NBA bubble, right? That was the last playoff stuff to end. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to get back into Series, that. Bill. We weren't. The Red Sox actually were not in the MLB playoffs at all.
Well, I was still watching.
So it'll be Saturday night. We got the Caps matchup, the one that I was trying to avoid as a Bruins fan. But they're dealing with their own shit. They got Kuznetsov dealing with the COVID stuff that he's been dealing with all season long. By all accounts, by all reports in DC, being a fucking asshole about it, just not paying attention to COVID restrictions, going out, doing whatever he wanted to do. They're kind of pissed at him. Actually, they're looking maybe to trade him. So they're dealing with that. They got a couple injuries. They got a couple rookie goaltenders. They are in a position that they're more vulnerable than they've been probably in a while. The Bruins can and should take advantage of that. They're the hottest team maybe in the NHL. I think the odds
momentum. If you get the win against this, momentum.
Win against what tonight?
The big Achilles. No, winning in the playoff. If you win against Washington in the playoffs, it's a big momentum thing. There's been your Achilles heel for how many years when the goaltender has been shutting you down all the time, now.
But that was they only played once in the playoffs. He's been the Achilles heel in the regular season. No, they played Brayton Holtby once in the playoffs.
Holtby, there we go. Thank you.
I'll tell you this. I'm not changing my opinion that the Capitals are the biggest threat to the Bruins in this division.
Me either.
I think you got the Penguins number. I think you match up well with the Penguins. We just saw the Islanders will play it tough, but you're more skilled than the Islanders. In a 7-game series, you should take them. The Capitals are scary because they're big, they're tough, they're angry, and that's what the Bruins have struggled against. We saw it against the Blues 2 years ago. The Lightning's a bad example because they're just good all around. But even them, their defensive, the Lightning's defense, people don't give credit for it because their offense is so good, but they're fucking big and nasty too, and skilled. So the Bruins struggle with those teams. We'll see what Taylor Hall can do. We'll see, with the addition of Mike Riley, McAvoy in a bigger, better role. Let's see what he can do. It's basically a pick 'em in Vegas right now, and it should be. Let's get your final thoughts and predictions on Bruins Capitals.
Bruins in 7. I just think they've matched up. You're 4-3 right now going in. You're tied 1-1 right here in game 8 with your taxi squad, if that's what you want to really call it. Basically, it's Providence up here tonight. I just think, again, you're a better team. They got a lot of injuries. Ovechkin's banged up. Tom Wilson just left a couple games ago with a knee-on-knee hit. That's another injury that you got to kind of watch out for. Yeah, I think the Bruins are the better team. They have better goaltending, too. The 2 rookies, I mean, it's hard to rely on them. They're not Brayton Holtby that owns the Bruins. I just think the Bruins are a better team. And, again, it's going to be a tough matchup. And if you get past the Capitals, I think you're going to the finals because this is the toughest matchup you're going to have.
Sorry, I forgot that we have another show before the Saturday. So, Brill, you're allowed to remedy your prediction on Friday.
Oh, take police? Oh, okay, I can take it back.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Bill, Ray, hold on to your thought. Let me get your thought on the matchup with ex-Boston Bruin captain, now Washington National, your loser team city, which Bill and I decided is over.
It's over. It's over.
The loser team, the loser city thing is really shit the bed. But we'll bring it up when it matters, which is now. The Capitals are your team. Zdeno Chara is going up against his old team. The Bruins, who has the bigger number? Can Chara help the Capitals get an edge on the Bruins, or should the Bruins have a bigger edge on Zdeno Chara here?
Bruins have a bigger edge on Zdeno Chara. It's going to be fitting that the Bruins are going to force this guy into retirement when they eliminate him from the playoffs.
What a hater, Bill.
He's a hater. I mean, if you kind of look at Rich, you're tied in more DC than we are, but you kind of look at his playing time, his minutes are low. You're getting a lot of minutes on the power penalty kill. a little bit of power play. I mean, he's not the impact player, and he's basically playing what the Bruins were going to play him. He probably played a shit ton of minutes with the Bruins this year because of the injuries on that, on the blue line. But you're seeing it. He's got nothing left. He's good on the penalty kill because he's 6'9" and he's 7'3" on skates, whatever the fuck how tall he is on skates. But that's why. I mean, he's got the longest stick in the history of the NHL. He could just stand there on the penalty kill and just stick his stick out, and that's what he's doing. He's not an impact player anymore. Yeah, he's still got a hard shot. He'll chip in with a couple goals, but he's done. I mean, you have a bigger advantage. He's no, and if he's playing meaningful minutes, you're in trouble because. Again, adding Taylor Hall, you got a lot of speed guys on this team, and you look what the speed has done to Zdeno Chara over the last 5 or 6 years. It's killing him. He can't play. He's too slow. He's too slow.
Yeah, even the likes of Charlie Coyle on that right side should be able to burn past.
Oh yeah,
easily.
I'll put it
Nick
this way.
Ritchie might be able to at this point.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. Going back to when the Bruins allowed Zdeno Chara to walk out, and I think all of us were on the same. Well, obviously Ray was because he's a Zdeno Chara hater. But Bill, you and I agreed that I wasn't too upset about the Bruins making that move, especially knowing that they offered him a role, and in that role he would have played essentially what you just said, Bill, a similar role in the Bruins. Maybe less minutes to start the year than he had with the Caps because he was playing like 24 minutes to start the season, which have dwindled since then because he's 43 years old.
It might pick up in the playoffs, but I don't expect it.
Of course, but look, would he be a nice piece as a third defensive pairing on the Bruins right now when you needed him? Sure, absolutely, no problem. He can fill that role. Do you want him there over Lausanne in the playoffs? Sure, yep. I'd take him there over Lausanne in the playoffs as a third pairing next to Kevin Miller just as a fucking stone wall when you want one. But that doesn't change. But that's not going to change my opinion on what Sweeney did and letting him go because we saw what it did for Charlie McAvoy, who vaulted himself Norris consideration this year. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It's a nice little storyline. I'm sure he'll get an applause or two in TD Garden when they play up there, and he should. But I don't think I think he's going to be a nothing. I don't think his name's probably not going to be mentioned a whole lot on the broadcast.
It will be when they get eliminated.
He's a liability, though. I mean, yeah, he'll get the fanfare in Boston,
bitch.
but he's a liability on the back end.
Last thing on hockey, because we got a couple things to get to, but we have to touch on the Jack Eichel trade rumors. Jack Eichel in news publicly stating that he is not okay with the way the team has handled his injury and just generally not okay in Buffalo because who the fuck is? Buffalo is getting creamed in NHL circles right now. They're bringing up their Bill, help me. Who went to the Blues? The centerman that killed Bergeron is Ryan O'Reilly.
Oh, right. Yeah, Ryan O'Reilly.
He hated it in Buffalo. They've been marking several key stars that went to Buffalo, looked like shit, looked great. Jack Eichel, the latest amongst them. The Bruins and the Rangers are the two teams that I am seeing top the list of suitors for the Sabres. Obviously, we know what the Rangers have in terms of, a really deep system of young talent.
Number one pick this year too. That was huge.
That if they want him, they probably could get him. I'll just say this: the Rangers are an absolute disaster. Again, Sunday Social Hour. I don't think it's aired yet. It might air this Sunday. The worst owners in sports. James Dolan, the New York Rangers, just fired their president and GM. They're an absolute wild card. And Buffalo has their heads so far up their asses. They should sell the team. There should not be a team in Buffalo. That's how bad that franchise has been for a really long time.
So Dominic Hasek.
There you go. Nice
job. They went to the finals with him though, so you can't really say that.
Doesn't matter. They're the fucking abyss.
That's the last time they've been relevant, is what I said.
They're the abyss of the NHL.
I don't pay attention.
I know. That's why I had to repeat what I said.
They're fucking terrible. So I don't know. Just give me. Actually, yeah, this was a good question I put in it. Do the Bruins need to make this trade in terms of a young? Now let me talk a little more in terms of a young, elite centerman filling in for Krejci, who's at the end of a contract, may not come back even next year. Bergeron, who's 35.
35, yep.
2 years left on his contract. Obviously, they need to replace him. You have Studnicka, John Beecher, who is injured, Coyle. You have nobody to fill those shoes. Let's put it that way. You have no number one, probably no number two center on the team right now. Do the Bruins need to make this trade? Do they need to shell out everything below Pasternak and McAvoy that the Sabres want to get a Jack Eichel into this organization?
No.
Ray, go.
I thought
Elaborate.
Bills was going to speak, but no, I don't think you should blow up everything to get this one player. I mean, you see that you can fit the pieces in here and make a run at it again. I mean, if Krejci goes, I think you should use his salary to fill up. Like you said, our development system isn't as best as like the Rangers is right now because they've been picking so high in the top 10. So why would you go out and get some more like reliable players for your farm system?
Because your farm system doesn't count against your salary cap. So there's one. But I mean,
boom, there you go.
Do you have to make the deal? No. Am I for the deal? Yeah. At what cost?
Yeah.
At what cost? So I mean, again, he's got $10 million. You got McAvoy and Pasternak coming up in the next 2 years. They're probably going to make.
Let me give you the cost, not to cut you off. Let me give you the cost. This is from Fluto. This is from guys around the league. They talked to I think half a dozen GMs that all said that it's going to take a haul, and what a haul means to them is an impactful NHL player right now, a young high-end prospect, first round pick, and a mid-round pick. So the Bruins don't have a really
DeBrusque, Halak, and third round.
God, you sound like every fucking radio caller. Jesus.
The problem is the Bruins don't have the high-end NHL player. So to me, I start with Coyle. People kind of forget about Charlie Coyle, and I get that he hasn't had a great year, and I get that he signed for 5 years, $6 million. But just in my mind's eye, Charlie Coyle fits Buffalo so fucking perfect. Like just kind of a nothing guy, not saying that he's terribly attractive, but if it's like a Coyle, DeBrusque, John Beecher, a first, maybe a third, maybe even a second, because Jake DeBrusque is not anything close to an elite NHL player right now, but he has the potential to be one with, he had 2 years, close to 30 goals. That's pretty much what the Bruins can offer because they're not going to trade Pasternak or McAvoy, and everybody else is not really attractive. So that's what I think a deal something like that in terms of quote unquote a haul or blowing it up from the Bruins perspective. Maybe throw Stadnik in there. I don't know. In terms of do they need to make the deal? I think they do. I think that the Bruins have been flirting this line of falling into obscurity in the NHL for years, and you're one bad Bergeron injury away from being there. I think that Bergeron ties this team together.
He's your captain.
He's your captain. He's still one of the best players in your team, and he's old. I get Marchand's one of the best players in the NHL, and you're still going to be good with the talent, but you're only a couple years away from losing 2/3 of your core, a big part of your core. And Pasternak has not proven that he can carry anybody. I like McAvoy. If you want to re-sign Hall, sure, you got pieces in place, but you're gonna take a dip when Bergeron and Krejci leave. And Jack Eichel is, in my opinion, the perfect guy to fill that role. Local
only if
kid,
the price is right.
Elite. Well, I just gave you the price, and I'd do it, and you'd do it. So
yeah, if you want, I don't think Buffalo would. I mean, everything I've read was McAvoy and Frederick just to start, and then it's everything after that. So I think if they're asking for Pasternak and McAvoy, I'm hanging up the phone. McAvoy is untouchable. Pasternak, yeah, you could move him, but I don't think Jack Eichel is the guy you would move him for. Honestly, again, they're the same age. I'd take the goal scorer over, the center.
I'm not moving Pasternak or McAvoy. We're late on this, but I'm not moving either of those guys. I don't think the Bruins are either.
No,
the point is Eichel's injured. The Sabres are at a low point in leverage. I think the Bruins have an opportunity to make a move right now. If you deal for him when he's injured, you get him at a lower price, and that's the only way you're going to get him because of everything we just talked about. The Bruins don't have enough to offer.
Yeah, and don't forget, he's got a no-trade clause that kicks in after the 21-22 season. So if you're going to move him, you need to move him now because that will decrease his value when he's got a no-trade movement. You're going to kind of a la Taylor Hall this year. Obviously, you're going to still get a shit ton, but he's going to dictate where he can go. You're going to get more if you don't dictate where he's going to go.
Bingo, bango. Okay, we got to move on. A lot of hockey talk, rightfully so. Go Bees. Hot Passport. Hot Passport is. Ooh, I got mine right here. Ooh, what 3 for 3?
Bill.
Hot Passport. Get 50% off your first 2 beers at some of the best breweries across the Northeast. 50+ breweries across the Northeast, stretching all the way to Wisconsin. If you ask the bottom of the totem pole of dumb, check the menu icon.
It's fucking in there.
Check the menu icon at the beginning of the book. Again, the obvious one loves to just say things. Generally, those are called keys. If you're looking for where
Menu
brewery
key.
is, Menu icon. This bad boy's $25. For $25, you get 50% off the first 2 beers at all of these breweries throughout the year. So basically, you get 6 beers, you make your money back. Gets better. Go to joinhoppassport.com. Enter the word SIMPLE, SIMPLE, in the coupon code. You get $5 off. That's making money on a 6-pack of pints this summer at your favorite breweries. Joinhoppassport.com. Jaylen Brown is out for the season with a torn ligament in his left wrist. The Celtics are dead in the water. Big Mac, you called this. You told us this, didn't you?
So I am officially out on Jaylen Brown.
Ooh, officially out on Jaylen Brown. Is this going to be the Felger Mass take? You're going to rip this take for him that he quit on the team because of the 58 game and he gets his bonus?
Yep.
And
he got his bonus.
Fraud. Stop ripping takes off Felger and Mass. Big man.
Why? As soon as I heard that, I was just like, why?
It's
like
we
were
a
so high.
Mind. It's because you're a simpleton.
Why would you play 3 games? Why would you play 3 games and then get your bonus and then fucking give up?
You
Fuck
heard
that.
those
Fuck
goddamn trolls say whatever they said into your mind, and your dumb, stupid mind sparkled and went, ooh, that's interesting. Don't allow me to look up anything else beyond that. Let me fuck.
What's there to look up? What's there to look up?
Whether it's true or not, you dumb cunt.
Well, why did he play 3 games? He got hurt in Oklahoma City, played 3 games, so he got this bonus, and then said, oh, I'm out.
Maybe for the bonus. Maybe he shouldn't have played. Maybe his left wrist was shitty. How many points did he score in the last 3 games? How well did he play? You go back and look at the tape.
Shitty.
For $500,000, that fucking counts.
Ooh.
For $500,000,
I'm dead. I'm out on this team. I want them to get blown out. I want them to lose to Charlotte. I want them to lose the next game in the play-in tournament. I want Brad Stevens to look like a fucking boob like he is. I want Tatum to cry and whine his way out of the fucking tournament and get ejected because he's bitches with the officials. I want this whole team to implode. I hate this fucking team. I'm out. I want them to lose.
Bill?
I mean, I was telling them to tank before Jaylen Brown's injury, but I mean, I don't say you quit on the team. You know, if you try to play through it, you can't play through it, then you're out. I mean, that's what it is. He tore a ligament in his fucking wrist. When you're a basketball,
played 3 games.
Did he look good in those 3 games? No. Then he got hurt. I mean, if you can't battle through, you can't battle through it. You're just a fucking hater when it comes to injuries. I'll popsicle stick Gordon Hayward over there. You fuck. I've been out on the team for a long time, but I'm not gonna shit on Jaylen Brown for having surgery on his wrist.
He's gonna have surgery, Ray. He's having fucking surgery. You think
it's one thing when you got pulls and cramps and
do not come back to this show with a Felger and Mass take that you have not dissected yourself. Do not do that again. It's fucking lazy and it's dumb. It's stupid. Those guys are fucking assholes for that. I like them. I love them. I listen to them too. They know it. They know what's interesting and inviting. But don't bring that to this fucking show that Jaylen Brown played 3 games to get $500,000. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. Regardless, he's getting surgery on the wrist. The wrist is fucking injured. It's fucking injured. He's getting surgery.
It's not a sprain. It's not a jam.
What do you want? Why did he fucking leave after the Oklahoma City when he actually
probably went, look, my wrist hurts, and they went, fuck, man, you got 3 games to get $500,000. What do you want to do? He probably went, I'll gut it out. I'll see what see what happens. And then they lost, and they looked like shit, and all 3 of those, and he read the tea leaves and went, fuck, we're not going anywhere. And the big brass went, yeah, we're not going anywhere. Jaylen, you're important to us. Go get surgery, dude. You made your money.
I agree with that take. I
think
you
just
said it after you fuck.
If you think this is like a truly nefarious bullshit, like Jaylen Brown's a quitter, he hates his team, he's just a selfish piece of shit kind of thing, then like a Felger and Mass take, then you're an asshole. You're an asshole that's not looking at the whole grand picture of things. The Celtics have been going nowhere for a long time. You've been the lead charger of that on this show. So they know that. He knows that. They're not fucking dumb. They know that there's $500,000 at stake. They probably had a meeting and said, hey, if you can gut it out, play. And Jaylen Brown played hard in those 3 games. Then he got injured in the 3rd game with a fucking ankle injury. And they probably just went, Jesus, dude, like, we don't need you blowing an ACL and missing all of next season too. Let's shut this fucking thing down. You made your money. Let's shut it down. We're going nowhere. How is that not also a possible situation, Maz, you cunt?
So you say they should shut it down and give up?
No, here we go. Let's move on.
I got you right into it. Into it.
Oh, is that what you did? Is that what you did? Bottom of the totem pole it down? Toot your ass into this. Fucking muty cunt.
I've been saying they should fucking tank
Good
for
God.
like a good month now. And now Ray has the same take, and it's toot. I've been preaching this for a fucking month. This team doesn't know how to win, and that's probably what happened. You
should
got
not
hurt.
shut it down unless you have a chance to shut it. You cannot institute
There's
a losing
5
mentality
games left.
with a team whose leader is a front runner. You cannot institute a losing mentality in that. You have to just play to the fucking whistle. The difference between being the 14th pick in the lottery or the 17th pick out of the lottery is not going to make a difference on this team. Play in the playoffs, play as hard as you possibly can, give the ball to Jason Tatum, see if he can mature, see if he can take on a playoff atmosphere, take on double and triple teams, continue to allow him to advance his game, continue to allow Kemba to showcase to see if you can trade him in the offseason. There's a much bigger benefit than showing out in the playoffs than there is the tanking for the 14th fucking pick in the draft. You guys are assholes. It's the wrong approach. It's always the wrong approach. Look at the Sixers. They tanked for 20 fucking years, and they're just now relative because they got a coach.
There's 2 games left in the season.
Always the wrong fucking move.
When the postseason comes, there's 2 games left. They're going to get bounced in the play-in tournament.
That might be true, and that might be true. It might be the best thing for him. But if you tank right now and miss the play-in tournament, or just tank in it,
you're in the play-in tournament no matter what.
It's the absolute wrong approach. It's when tanking is always the absolute.
I don't even think they're going to
approach.
tank. I just think they're just going to get their fucking doors blown in because this team just sucks. Jalen's not there. Jason can't handle the pressure by himself. He always has to look at defeat if something doesn't go his way. Brad doesn't know how to coach himself way out of a box. I think it's just going to be the worst thing ever.
Well, Fournier has 17 tonight, so that's a plus.
That might be true.
And they're still losing at halftime.
And we might be most likely be looking at Celtics postseason and what they should do more sooner than we want to. So we'll save that talk until we get there. Red Sox dropped the 4th game against the Orioles. They took 3 out of 4. Big news out of that: Perez pulled in the 5th after 76 pitches.
Fun fact before you go on: 2 outs in the 6th inning right now. Evaldi 99 pitches, and they're not taking him out. So
okay, so that's a Perez issue, or did they learn from the night before because Andres came up and gave out
3 runs.
3 runs. So
it's the whole thing. It's a Tampa thing. Before you go, it's the Tampa thing. If you look at it, they're 2nd in the league in starters going over 5 innings, but they're also, if you look at it, they've only had 4 guys pitching over the 5th inning, so they're averaging right around that 5 inning mark. Again, I don't like it. You're blowing out your bullpen. They're afraid to get to the 3rd round of the order, but 76 pitches. He wasn't pitching awesome, but he wasn't pitching bad. He only gave up that 1 run. And to watch on Andres, he gave up 3, and the game was over. The bats weren't hitting for the Sox, and this is a major problem because when they go cold, this is what you're going to see. They only gave up 4 runs, but this is the problem you're going to see. So I thought Perez should have at least gotten another inning. And like you hear his comments after Cora, he goes, I pick and choose, when I want these guys to go along. You've seen Richards go in the 7th, Pavetta's gone there, Evaldi's gone there, and then Erod's gone once. I mean, most of his starts have been 5 innings. Yeah. So like this can't keep going. This is a major trend right now, and it's still May, but you can't keep doing this. You're going to blow out your bullpen. You don't want your middle relievers getting fucking 90 to 100 innings. And if your starters are only average 5 innings, this is the shit that's going to happen.
Or you have to bulk up your bullpen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your bullpen is not deep enough to sustain this right now because the best guy you got in your bullpen pitches 1 inning a night, and that's Matt Barnes.
Yeah,
but you got 4 innings to get there.
I think the Perez versus Evaldi thing is clearly the nerds upstairs, right? Like they've allowed Evaldi to go long more times than not, where Erod is clearly coming off myocarditis or whatever the hell it's called from COVID. And I don't think that's true, Bill. I don't think that's right. I mean, and he's got an injury history of coming back slow. And Martin Perez is a middler that I bet they're afraid will fall off. I don't know. So anyway, I think that's coming from upstairs. I think it's a lot of the sabermetric shit coming into play there.
Yeah, it is the nerds, and it's sucky because you're not going to win on this team because the bats go soft. I mean, if you don't have the relief, I mean, who did they just pick up? The Workman kid that you
minor league deal.
yeah, that Rich loves. I think that's the pickup of the year. But still, you need to get the bullpen back into what they need to be. I mean, you can't have Perez going 76 pitches, giving up only 1 run, and then have the bullpen blow it for you. So you need to bulk up that bullpen.
What's the like? What is so you put him into the 6th? If he has a good inning, maybe he goes 90 pitches. So what's his pitch count? 85. So they look at it and say, I don't want to, it's not worth it. Put him in it. Give somebody a fresh inning. I fucking hate that.
I don't like it either.
Absolutely,
especially if he only 1 run. Why? You just
hopefully they'll stretch him out.
Well, they put a pitch count on him. So I bet you Martin Perez's pitch count is 85 because they've done the math and they say after 85 pitches and the 3rd time through the order, he's gassed and he can't do it. So they say in the 6th inning, he's at least going to throw 85 pitches. So we don't want him to get to that. So it doesn't make sense. And we like our guy coming in with a fresh inning instead of coming in with men on, blah, 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 blah. The guy was pitching well. Just let him go. Just let him go.
You know how Hollywood always remakes movies with Revenge of the Nerds, instead of the nerds successing, I think it should be the jocks going after the nerds. Like Hollywood.
What a great movie that would be, though.
Right?
Revenge of the
Theo
Nerds
Epstein
is an awesome
and Ken
movie.
Griffey Jr. with bats and beating the shit out of
nerds.
Poindexters. All right, boys,
Nerds,
a little
nerds,
bit long.
nerds,
Last
nerds.
thing on this, the NFL schedule was released or is released today as this is aired, and there's a TV show revolved around it. Do you guys?
No one fucking cares.
No one gives a shit.
I'll read
Oh
it.
my God. Let me tell you, I'm on the other side. Gentlemen, we determine when we're going to Carolina. This is big for us.
Oh, who gives a shit? I'll read at noontime and let you guys know.
This is
That's
the shortest.
interesting.
This is the shortest season, so it's easy to determine wins or losses. You can have a whole show around it. You can do all 32 teams. It's easy for fucking production.
Did you just say the shortest season? 17
The
games is
longest
short?
season.
The longest, you dummy.
No. It's the shortest out of all pro sports. It's 17 games. So you can go.
Well, you
can
forgot
have
a key part of that sentence.
Exactly.
Well, I've been drinking a lot.
Sentence are words that go
I grabbed
together
another
and there's
beer and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It's a very high percentage, but yeah, it's a short percentage.
There actually is a reason that this show has a little bit of success, Bill, because when you and I think alike on the
you
sports
guys.
takes, and it does get a little bit mundane. But this fucking dumbass, and you like the NFL schedule show?
Yeah.
Why?
God,
Why
it's a
not?
social media show. Who gives a shit?
Because you can go through and be like, oh, that's a win. Oh, no, that's a loss. Oh, well, that's a win. And
In
everyone has
fucking May?
a chance to win the
fucking
Super Bowl.
May.
Every franchise can go through the whole thing and be like, oh, fuck, we
you
win
end
the
the
Super Bowl.
show. I'm out.
That's
I'm
so
out with
dumb.
that.
All right,
I'm done.
Friday. We'll see you on Friday.
Oh, Bill has to go eat dinner.
Bill's
I
gonna
do
go
have
dinner.
to eat dinner, but
On
yeah.
Friday, we'll see you for the headline show. Also, we're going to run through the Patriots schedule and do wins and losses.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Bye-bye.
Can we do a whole show on it? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ooh, I can't wait to get the crayons out. Win.
Yeah, let's
win,
mark off
win.
2 hours for the NFL schedule show.
2
That's what
hours?
NFL does.
Because they go through every goddamn team.
NFL Network has 2 hours, but they just cover the NFL. But ESPN has that fucking show too. It's just
Jesus Christ.
the schedule. I mean, good on the NFL. They're marketing. Whoever's handling, I'm sure they've made marketing careers in the NFL.
But no, think about it. You can go through all 32 teams in 2 hours and figure out the whole season. You can't do that with the MLB. You can't do that with NFL, NBA. You can't do that with the NHL.
I don't give 2 fucks who the Carolina Panthers are playing in week 16.